Acolytes. Altori. Moved to Africa. Met there's animals in Africa. So I think this person moved to Africa and regrets it. From America to Africa because, well, look at her. Definitively. Let's just see.
I'd rather go back to America and deal with the racism in America before I sit here in Africa and deal with the
posts like these are hilarious because you have people who live in the land of the free almost, and they decide, you know what, I want to leave America because America with all its technology and its rights and its freedoms is just too much. So people pack their bags and put their money where their mouth is, and then they land in the place of their dreams, probably a place that they believe is their birthright, even though they haven't been connected with that culture for many generations. And when they land, they realize, oh shit, I want to go back home because this is not exactly how I thought it was going to be. People are begging me for stuff because they realize I'm not from here, and since you came here to make a difference, you should be helping them, right? But you didn't come here for them. You came here to have a peace of mind, only to find out that no matter where you go, the grass isn't always going to be greener.
And deal with the bullshit bribery, the bullshit fraud, the bullshit scams, the bullshit too expensive, the bullshit not having no snacks.
I think this woman doesn't need the snacks. This is the good thing that she went into. But the rest, well, you uninformed whale. That's what you get.
And that's how you could spot American entitlement from a mile away. Because there are still Americans that don't understand that Africa is not just one country. It's made up of many different countries. It is a continent. So coming in here and lambasting an entire region of your ancestry just seems wild. And she may not have ancestors from Africa, but then again, we all do. So clearly, this person did not do any research on the place before they moved there, which is freaking crazy. And you know that's the case because if you had, you would know that Africa itself is not a country. You don't live just in Africa.
Correctly.
You live in Nigeria, Uganda, Botswana. Where do you live? That depends. You can't say one region is the equivalent of the entire continent or landmass. Africa is huge. I don't think people realize how big this landmass is. You look at it compared to other landmasses, you realize that half these places can fit into Africa. I mean, the entire United States and China and India and Mexico and Alaska can fit into Africa. Outside of Reed Schultz's video, here's another example of just how big this landmass is. Check out the United States, and there's still a lot of room to spare. I mean, some basic research would allow you to see this and understand that Africa is also an extremely diverse place. It's no different than people who will see American shows on TV and believe that every single American sounds like me, which is funny because I'm not even American, or they're all walking around and shooting each other in the streets and that's part of their everyday life like it's the freaking purge. Or they'll think that all Americans are rich or something and will continue living with the false notion that people from New York encapsulates everybody from America, which couldn't be further from the truth. Further from the truth.
Fair enough.
They might get met with this, but then if you tell them that there are people that live very well and there's paved streets and cars and clean cities in places in Africa, they'll look at you like you're crazy and be like, nah, that's not what the news showed us. That's not what the news and CNN and all them places in America that constantly lie to its civilians showed us. Oh, hell no. There's people out there eating dirt for dinner and breakfast. And it makes me wonder why she was even bothering to move there. Did you think that because it was really poor, she could bring her business there and try to take advantage of the people? Maybe not, but it's worth noting that zero research came into this because of how shocked she is.
The bullshit.
Of course, she's a freaking human being that lived in luxury her entire life. Of course she doesn't know fuck all. Of course she thought that there is a better place than her hometown, country, I don't fucking know. Acolytes, of course. Just inform yourself for 5 seconds, then you will freaking know why everybody fucking runs away from there. There is a reason for that. But no, entitled people like this think that everywhere is super nice and convenient for everyone. Probably give her a mouth and she will eat dirt. And this is probably the one and only thing that is the good part for her. Because if this whale loses a few freaking hundred of pounds, this will probably make her life a bit better. At least if it comes to her health. But then she probably starves to death.
Not having no snacks. The bullshit not having no food.
Why did she specify not having food right after specifying not having snacks? Don't the two go hand in hand? You know when people
She has the size of 3 people. Come on, nartually.
talk about microaggressions in America, this seems like a macroaggression. How are you out here telling people that Africa doesn't have no food and no snacks? Where did you move to? As an example, this is Nairobi, Kenya. I mean, the way that she makes it sound, it's like she's living in a hut somewhere out under the earth. And maybe your level of snacks you're used to having in America, clearly, is a bit more than the average person should be eating. I mean, if you go to cities in Japan, they don't sell the gigantor sizes of food that America is used to selling its people, which is having a clear impact on their health. Notice most other countries in the East, in the Caribbean, or just countries that are not the West in general, or the USA or the UK, don't have a huge swath of their population walking around looking like blimps. They probably are not bent out of shape about electricity because they're outside doing stuff, and they're not worried about having snacks all the time because they probably don't eat the way the average American does.
Bullshit not having no food, the bullshit electricity, the bullshit hot water, the bullshit what's that shit called that be coming down? Bullshit lizards. The bullshit animals and scorpions outside the house. It's big ass spiders. It's big ass lizards.
Ma'am, you fucking moved to Africa.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest, I'm sorry for actually making fun of her accent. That's actually not appropriate, acolytes. It's still, this fat fuck, honestly, this...
Which is the boss level version of Australia. Australia is Africa's little insignificant cousin.
Yep.
And you move to Africa and you're shocked that there are animals out there? The same ones that we see in the documentaries that they're always hosting from out of Africa? You're, what? Who is this what? Ma'am, who moves to Africa and is outraged because they're animals. In Africa. This is what happens when you move halfway around the world, having done zero research. This is strictly a user error.
Colorful lizards you ain't never seen before, all in the fucking room with you, sleeping with you.
I don't know about her, but that sounds like a dream. We get free lizards? I used to have those in my country. They're so hard to catch once they realize you're not afraid of them, and they even make loud noises too to attract the females. I think that's badass. You know how much one of those lizards go for? Not that you should sell them, because they're beautiful species. If I saw a lizard in my house looking like that, I'd be like, ooh, new pet, let's go. You thought that I was locked in here with you? Now you ain't leaving.
Now you just can't leave.
If I saw this walk into my house, I would be like, okay, level 5 Pokemon, I am totally going to freaking tame you. Here's some food, let's hope you come back. Not these guys though, they're in Indonesia and all in places. If you see one of these, do not approach it. Unless you have gloves and shin guards and all that stuff. All these other puppies are on the table.
Isn't it crazy?
Oh, I like lizards. Yeah. By the way, I don't care if this thing comes at me, I'm fucking running. I don't effing know what the fuck it's gonna do with me. Especially, okay, the Komodo Varan, fuck no, I'm out. This little guy, I think, if I recall correctly, those are actually quite peaceful. No, I still would fucking run away, fuck this. Or try to stab it.
Crazy that white Americans can move to anywhere in Europe and love it there, even poor areas in Europe. But black Americans will move anywhere in Africa and immediately find a bunch of reasons to hate the place and make problems with the locals. Imagine moving to a beach house and complaining about the nasty sand, or moving into the jungle and complaining about the freaking trees and bushes. Oh, this is just hilarious. It is the entitlement for me. Imagine having this physical appearance and complaining about not getting enough snacks.
All the bullshit.
I feel you, woman. I feel you. You are correct. She is on point. And this is a disgrace to the locals. And I fully understand it. I fully effing understand it. This woman is just on effing point. And I wish there were more that actually spoke out against the freaking privilege that European and American black people actually have. That they come in and just enjoy it without ever thinking about how it came to be. It's just... And then being freaking overly effed up against the people that actually live in misery, their own, by the way, their own people living in misery, and just being this kind of asshole to them, like to this woman. F that. Honestly, F this fat pig. Honestly.
All the bullshit people trying to scam you when you go outside thinking you rich, so they trying to get more money off of you. I'm really trying to wrap my head around this shit. I'm really trying to wrap my head around how are Americans coming to Africa and being happy.
This person is seriously out here representing ignorance on a global scale and embarrassing herself because it's not anybody else's fault that you didn't research the culture of the region you were moving to. You didn't research the economy, the local customs, the availability of certain things. You lazily just ended up in an area and then you pull up with your phone ready to judge an entire whole continent making up of multiple countries based on your limited tourist experience, which, funny enough, could quite possibly be a region that is struggling with over-tourism or economic strain, which doesn't really help because of people like you. Things are expensive. That is something that you could have researched. And even though there are some countries that are struggling economically in Africa, you dragging the entire continent just because you couldn't find your brand of chips and because you didn't do your research is grossly ignorant and kind of low-key racist. And ironic enough, a very colonial mindset. Just goes to show grass isn't always greener. Research a place before you go to it. Don't go to the poorest area of some place and then say that the entire continent is like that. It would almost be as bad as if a person from Sweden were to see you and meet you in particular and think that because of the bad experience she had with you that every single black American is like this.
Correct,
and strangely enough, to Africans and other people seeing this, they're all going to look at black Americans as being like you because you're representing your culture and the nation you come from and your class of people. And then people have a nerve to get mean when Africans call black Americans rude and say they don't claim them, but then this is how you behave when you go to one of their countries. You don't see people carry this much smoke for places like South America or the countries in it. Traveling to another country isn't just some grass is greener fantasy where everything just magically caters to your American colonial tastes, especially if you don't bother to do research about where you're going.
Enough.
You know what? This isn't such a bad thing that this woman decided to go there because it really helps to put things into perspective. Clearly, she needed a reality check, and sometimes all that's needed is stepping outside your bubble of entitlement to realize just how privileged and comfortable your life back home really was. And I keep telling people, when you go to these countries, stop making these types of videos and making yourself a target in a place that is not your home that you can easily disappear in. It's not smart. And if you can't learn to be happy with your situation that you have where you are, you're not going to be happy anywhere else. And girl, if you were going to come on camera and bitch, at least put your dreads in a ponytail or make yourself look presentable, because it's really hard for people to relate to you when you're behaving like this, and then on top of that you look unkempt. Like, seriously.
By the way, it's just Alteori on point as always. She's not as harsh as I am, but for F's sake, she's way nicer about it, because the thing is, the world cannot be done presentable. That's just not a thing. You won't ever... How where did I hear it once? You can apply beauty products to a pig, but it's still a pig. And we have a hog here. So hey, if that, I assume. But as it is, acolytes, good night.